Hello, Sabita here. So I just wanted to go through another simultaneous equation question. And this one is a little bit trickier because if you look back at the one we did the other day, number 3, you'll notice that we had the coefficients of one of the letters, one of the variables was the same. So we didn't have as much work to do. But on this one, you'll notice that the coefficients of all the letters are different. So this is still a grade 5 problem, but it's still a little bit more work to do. And it's non-calculator. And it is our sticky maths problem number 4. So before we do this, now we're going to do this algebraically. So we're going to use algebra to solve it. So you wouldn't plot the graphs necessarily, but I just wanted to show you where the answer is. So if we were to plot these graphs, they're just straight line graphs. They're in the form y equals mx plus c. So if I was to rearrange that one, I would have a negative 4, so a negative gradient there, not 4, I'd have to divide by 2, but it'd be a negative gradient. So the red line would be number 1, and the blue line would be number 2. So we're looking, when we solve these things, we're looking for one value of x, because these are linear straight line graphs. We're looking for one value of x and one value of y that fits both of these equations. And you can see that it's where they meet. So that would be our answer. So we're looking for an answer. If I look along here, it's going along in halves. So it's a half across. That would be my x value. And then going down, it's 1.5, and it's minus, it's 1.5. So from that, now I wouldn't do that in the exam. I could do a quick sketch to have a rough idea, but I wouldn't spend too much time plotting it. But I just want to show you where the answer is. So let's see if we can get to that answer. So to solve these, when we've got different coefficients, we need to make either the y coefficients the same or the x's. So it doesn't matter which you do, because you will get the same answer. But I think I'm going to go to make the y coefficients the same. So I'm going to times equation 1 by -3 and equation 2 by +2. And I'll show you why I'm doing that. So it's the whole equation. So -3 times 4 is -12. -3 times 2 is -6y. And then a minus times a minus makes a +3. And then for equation 2, 2 times 5 is +10. 2 times -3 is -6y. And then 2 times 7 is 14. So you can see that I've made the y coefficients both -6, or we're taking away a positive. So they're both exactly the same. The 6 is the important bit. So now here comes the tricky bit. We need to decide, do we add the equations or do we subtract the equations to get rid of the y variable? So let's try. Let's just do a little bit of trial and error. So supposing we're going to try and add them, okay? So we're just looking at the y's for a minute. So -6 add -6. I'm going to do it over here. -6 add -6. If you're adding a negative, in, you're really then just taking away. So -6 minus 6 is -12. So that's not going to get rid of our y variables. So for these equations, we need to do the second one, we need to take them away. So I'm just going to rub out my little pluses because I don't want those anymore. And I'm going to replace them with take away. So take away, take away, take away. So -12 minus 10. -12, I'm going to do it down here. -12 minus 10. I'm taking away a +10, I'm taking away. So I'm going to get more negative. So it's -22. So that's -22x. -6 minus, so I'm taking away the negative. I'll do it here as well. -6 minus -6. I'm taking away the negative's gone. So it's really -6, add 6, which is 0, which is what I wanted. I don't want any y's, they've gone. And then 3 take away 14 is -11. And now to find x, I'm going to divide both sides by -22, I think. Let's do that. -22. And again, it's non-calculator. So if I divide this side by -22, I've just got 1 left. And if I divide, I'm going to do it like this to show you. I'm dividing by -22. Now a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and you'll notice that the denominator is twice the numerator. So I could divide both those by 11, so that is my half, or 0.5, which is good because that's what I wanted. So to find my y letter variable, I need to substitute x is a half back into either equation. So it doesn't really matter. I'm going to do the first one. So number 1. So I've got 4 lots of a half, that's 4x, plus 2y is negative 1. So 4 times a half is 2, plus 2y is negative 1. Take 2 from both sides. So I'm showing the examiner always what I'm doing. So if I take 2 from this side, I've got 2y. If I take 2 from this side, I've got negative 3. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So y equals minus 3 over 2, which is also known as minus 1.5, which is exactly what I wanted. I will just double check though on equation 2 that it works. So equation 2, 5 lots of x, so 5 times a half, minus 3 lots of negative 1.5, and I need that equal to 7. So 5 times a half is 2.5, minus 3 times minus 1.5 is minus 4.5. There we go. And if I'm taking away a negative, I'm really adding. So that's 2.5 times 4.5. Is that 7? Yes, it is. So I can leave that exam knowing that I got that question 100% correct. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye-bye.